Hell, you might be familiar with Justin Anderson. This is video from a recent KMTV news story.
The U.S. Army retired sergeant has sacrificed a lot in service to our country. So has Dan Nevins. Both men are passionate about helping other veterans.
That's right, Justin. Good to have you over here.
That's
and Elizabeth,
right.
his mom, is in here as well.
It's nice to have you, Elizabeth. Good morning, Justin. Good to see you.
Justin, yeah, we've done, our news department over there has done news stories with you. It's your first time on the show here, so thanks for being here.
Is that true?
Yes, it's his first time on the show. He's been in our green room before when Elizabeth's been on, but Justin's first time on the show. But I want to start with you and your story, Justin. So take us back from the beginning. When did you join the military? Why did you decide to get into service, and then take us through your story there?
Yeah, definitely. So I joined the Army straight out of high school. 2 weeks after graduation, I left for basic training, and the reason I really wanted to go into the military is it just had always been something that interested me. You know, I mean, I was an athlete. I played sports and stuff in high school. I could have gone to college, but I chose to enlist in the Army. My father was in the Army, my grandfather was in the Army, so kind of a, you know, I guess like kind of a bloodline thing.
You're a third generation, a soldier.
Yes.
A patriotic family, and we see evidence of that even now, the way you've dedicated your life, and Elizabeth, what you're doing too. But in terms of an event that really changed your life, you were in Iraq.
Yes, I was in Iraq. I was there in 2003 through 2004 for the ground war. And when I was in Baghdad, I was injured while we were conducting combat operations. And I took a gunshot to my left knee, which then later down the road led to an eventual amputation above the knee.
You had several surgeries, right?
Yes.
The amputation wasn't until, well, fairly recently. I mean, so for years you lived with the injuries and surgeries. Walk us through that that timeline of events that, you know, led you to the ultimate decision to get the amputation.
So over the course of 10 years, I had about 14 total surgeries, just reconstructive surgeries, trying to salvage the limb. But eventually, I did develop an infection, and that is what led to the amputation about 2.5 years ago.
You have found such meaning now working with other veterans and helping them overcome some of the same things, the same challenges and stresses. Why was that important to you?
It's very important to me because I don't want other veterans to have to go through some of the struggles that I did. And because when you get injured and you get out of the military, they don't hold your hand and say, this is what you need to do.
It's not an easy thing to figure out.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And so that's my way of giving back. That's my duty now is the way I see it.
In terms of the prosthetics, they've come a long way, and you're an example. You went to Australia, right?
That's correct.
To get the new device, and when I say device, I mean it's pretty sophisticated. It's high tech. Can you explain, because your amputation was just right above the knee, wasn't it?
Correct. It is. It was 4 inches above the knee joint, and the reason that I went to Australia is because the doctor that has developed this technology, it's proprietary to him. I have an implant in my femur that's about 8.5 inches long, and out of that implant then I have my adapter that comes out and connects directly to the prosthetic, and so I no longer have to wear a socket or a liner. I don't have to worry about sores and scar breakdown and stuff like that.
But you were telling me there's this thing has to be charged up. There's batteries in this thing? Yeah, explain.
Yeah, so
I don't know, can you hold it up? I don't know if our cameras can see it.
Yeah, I can, definitely.
It's powered?
So this is actually a microprocessor leg. This is probably the best leg out on the market if you talk to most prosthetists. It's waterproof, it's dustproof, it can do everything. It's got 6 sensors throughout the foot, ankle, and the knee joint. And the microprocessor then adjusts accordingly when I'm walking to how much resistance needs to be there for balance purposes and everything like that.
That's incredible.
Pretty amazing.
Are you able to golf?
We'll find out.
We'll find out
Yeah,
today.
today.
Working his way,
Yeah.
right.
Elizabeth, I want to get you into this conversation because
thank you, Mary.
it's going to be a busy afternoon for you guys. I know you've been running around like mad trying to get this together. What's
Absolutely.
happening at 1 o'clock today?
Oh, it's going to be a wonderful event, even though we're all going to be out there needing a little more H2O, you know, that water's
warm
not
one.
going to be enough.
I
But
get it.
Husker Fans Salute the Troops is doing their golf scramble, and Sounds of Freedom is working along with them for this, for our veterans, and there's still time. So if you guys
Yeah.
want
You
to
You can
come
still
down
register,
and
right?
There's
You got some
Yeah.
space.
Get a foursome
Yes,
together and
please.
head to Platteview, and we'll show you the information if you'd like to get a group together and support our veterans. This is an awesome way to do it. And then you see there, Wounded Warriors, the connection back to. The number to call is 402-639-4778. We only have about a minute left. There's another event this weekend featuring Dan Nevins.
That's correct.
Tell us what he's doing here in Omaha, and he's somebody else just like you, who he was injured in Iraq, and really he's dedicated his life now to helping other veterans.
That's correct. Dan is a double amputee, bilateral below knee, and he is very inspirational. He found yoga is what helps him, and
Yeah.
this coming Sunday from 5 to 7:30 p.m. Yoga Rocks the Park, Omaha, sponsored by, of course, Midtown Crossing and Sounds of Freedom. Dan Nevins is going to be out there in the park doing yoga with what we hope to be hundreds of other people.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you look at some of those pictures, Dan is obviously in incredible shape, isn't
Yes,
he?
he is.
Fantastic shape. But Sunday at 5 o'clock, that's Yoga Rocks the Park in Omaha.
I love his story. Knew that you guys were connected with him and had been reading about him online, and was just beyond impressed with how inspirational he is. So if you'd like to see Justin, he'll be out at Platteview today. So the golf starts at 1 o'clock, and then Yoga Rocks the Park, that's on Sunday. But it all goes back to supporting our veterans here who certainly need it and deserve it. And so we're glad to have you here to share your story, Justin.
I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
having me on the
Elizabeth,
show.
it's good to see you again.
Justin, thank you for
very
your
much.
service, too.
Thank you
Mike
very
and
much. I
Mary.
appreciate that.
Thank
Guests
you.
of